look, I'll say, even though I'm not like into it, at least this is like the most forward beyond, I guess, Cheryl and Alto that two Macross characters have been. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with episode 14 of Macross Delta, where we won?
Survived would be a way.
Well, I would say survived if the threat of losing was present. Also, ironically, not everybody survived. I don't know, it's the weird thing of how we really were victorious in our retreat. Like, to the point where I was questioning, should we keep retreating? Like, I think we could just win this fight. Like, literally, we took down their shields. We hit them in the bridge of their thing. Yeah. We effectively defeated their best pilot. Like, guys, I think the other nun guys can escort this thing the rest of the way, and we can just win Ragna. Like, we can end the show right here.
Shooting. Keep shooting. Don't stop shooting. Keep shooting.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the indicator here is that, oh no, we need to retreat. That's how bad things have gotten. But in fact, you've indicated how victorious they are in their retreat, that it's like, I don't think we need to keep retreating. I'm not questioning your retreat.
They kind of took out Valcour because they're wounded.
No, they got shot. Then Freya inspired them by lowering herself into danger, and they started singing again. So they didn't take out Valcour. Valcour is singing harder than ever, which is shutting down Hines, apparently. And the threat that we're retreating from is that VAR syndrome is being demonstrated on the city ship, but we shut down Hines. So, in fact, VAR syndrome isn't being expressed on the city ship anymore.
Yeah.
And in fact, we see that at the end with the people on the city ship, like, watching what's going on monitors and whatnot. So, in fact, we're winning now. We're winning so hard that the concept of retreating no longer makes sense. Which really goes against the whole, oh no, the Valkyries are, the Windemarians are a threat. In fact, they're no longer really a threat. We're kicking their ass. It's like, wait, what? So that goes to my whole, what's the threat of the Windemarians winning anymore? It's like a loss of free will, because they're not doing the hostile shit anymore. We're not like, oh no, they start singing and we punch each other to death. No, it's now you stand and watch people buy apples. It's like,
I mean, slavery and domination is a big threat in it to itself.
Yes, I'm not arguing that point. I'm arguing the point of the mundanity of the Windemarians winning. What happens to the enslaved people that we see? They do circles in pace mode, or watch you buy apples and then give you directions when you ask for directions. It's not the, we're going to, like, sorry, trying to avoid the real life shit. We're not going to, like, murder you with explosives like your own side is going to do. So, to the two extremes, it's not really that horrible. Like, I understand it is bad. The loss of free will, the whole thing we described in your argument for Gundam Seed Destiny, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not exploding in a nuclear fireball, right? It's not being eaten alive by the Proto-Devlin. It's like, you stand, you like become, what do you call them? A beefeater. You become not beefeater's the hat. You become the Royal Guard outside of the Royal Palace in England. You just stand there all day staring. It's like, okay, it is an existential horror, but it isn't like the worst thing ever.
I think it's bad enough to justify that they're still a threat.
No, I'm not saying that they're not a threat. It's just like they become, like, I believe that this is lower tier than Grace's plan. Like, I'm going to control the universe. And it's like, I don't think Grace was just going to have people stand still and do nothing.
I mean, they were going to force people to have cybernetic implants so that she could control them. Right? And whoever opposed them were going to be killed.
Yeah, but my thing is that Grace was then going to have to use those people that she put the cybernetics into to control to then go out and attack more people. Whereas this is just, I hit everybody at once.
Or just kill them.
Yeah, but this is just, I hit everybody at once, and they all just stand still and stare. It's like, also, not everybody. Like, I saw this time that we saw a bunch of the Ragnan civilians being hit but I think that's because it's a broad spectrum thing. Otherwise, they've just been hitting the military guys, and then the military guys watch the civilians. It's just like the civilians still get to go around doing normal shit. They only care about the humans going away. It seems like the Ragna, the cat people, keep living your lives unless you were part of the nun military, in which case you're us. You're ours now. Yeah, I'm not arguing it's not bad. I just like, of the tiers, the Zentradi wiping out all of Earth, Grace trying to control everybody through the Borg, essentially. I guess actually the Proto-Devlin trying to eat the entire galaxy would have been above the Zentradi destroying all of Earth. Although, technically, the Zentradi trying to kill all my clones everywhere, I guess it's just one tier down between from the Proto-Devlin. And then below everybody else, I guess technically the only person they'd be above is Sharon Apple, who mind-controlled a city. The tiers things.
Yeah.
So this is like the lowest, next to the lowest tier of threat. And it's like, I don't really feel it anymore. It's like, I feel like we could defeat these guys pretty easily, considering that we were running away from them and defeated them, essentially. We killed their king running away.
Yeah. Although their soldiers are still super soldiers.
Sure, but how often has that come into play? 1, 2, maybe 1.5 episodes? And we defeated them with holograms? And a guy who was already injured?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're super soldiers. You get defeated by a musician and a guy who was already injured. And then the rest of the time, you're in jets, where your physical attributes are out of play.
Yeah. So let's see what this episode has to show us, shall we?
Sure, you don't want me to shit on it for another half an hour. Let's go.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
And I could clarify that I don't dislike the show or anything, but I don't think anyone fucking cares. The moment I said one bad thing, they all signed off. I'm sorry, did she turn into an angel?
Okay.
Is Miku actually of the proto-culture? Is that going to be the thing?
It would be.
That's why she can, swim as deep as the Ragna and everything?
Oh, change the intro.
Is it, or are we just flashing back to what happened before? Okay, it is. Okay.
No, I think
it's very confusing that the new intro started with a thing that happened last episode. And again, it's still... I can't tell if this is a new intro or just a special intro for this episode. I'm going to need to see something that's new, that hasn't happened yet. Also, did he die? Did the whole fucking family die?
I think so.
The 3
Mustang
kids.
Family and his sister.
Yeah, again, the element of nothing new has happened in the opening yet, so this could just be a special opening. At the same time, we do still have to talk over it. I'm not a reminder for you, it's a reminder for the audience. True. That, they're talking over the recap. Or I don't know, is it a recap or is it a new show? I mean, new opening.
It seems like a recap, yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying nothing new has happened yet. Maybe there was a delay between episodes. And this is like the reminder bit. Oh, I do like that. I didn't notice that the first time. When the Macross ship fired its super weapon, the entire water cleared out from under it, from the backblast.
Yeah. The shockwave, yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't notice that when it was firing because I was so incredulous at how victorious we were against the Windomerians.
So now we.
Nope, Chuck is alive.
Oh, thank God.
See, I'm more disappointed that there wasn't more fallout. I don't mean that by the nuke. I mean from, like, the perspective of people dying.
この通り、アイランド船のフォールドリアクターは今にも行かれちまいそうです。しかし、修理しようにも資材も足りねえし、そのうち電力や酸素の供給も止まっちまうでしょう。対策はエリシオンとドッキングさせるしかないでしょうね。
Man, city ships got shitty after Macross 7.
十分カバーできるはずですが、アイランド船のドッキングシステムが壊れちまいまして。
Literally, one of you is a hacker and the other is the engineer.
Yeah.
ラグナが戦争に巻き込まれるなんてな。お家に帰りたいよ。娘がいなくなっちまったんですよ。一緒に乗ったはずなのに。うちのばあちゃんも。
If you boarded together, then why isn't she here?
I mean, people get split.
I know, I'm being an asshole about this, but
心配いらんかんね。今一生懸命直してるから絶対大丈夫。本当に？本当。お姉ちゃんは嘘はつかんよ。レイヤ。
I hope this ship has plenty of wow. They did survive. I told you. The show isn't going that dark, except to the sister.
Yeah, but their older sister is not there.
Yeah, of course, she got blown away in a blast that apparently doesn't burn wood. It's a wooden ship on water. See, look at that. Here's my thing. Here's my thing.
The thing is,
I think that the show is actually trying to not be dark at all. Like, this is a tenuous moment, but it's not as dark as it could be. I would bet you that we're going to find her alive later back on the planet.
Oh, yeah. Because remember, they're amphibious creatures.
Well,
they can survive underwater.
Above water. I'm saying she got probably blown back into the water, though. I'm agreeing with you even while I'm disagreeing with you. Because I find that to be a bad thing. You're not committing to your darkness. All survived! Legitimately, all we lost was things.
ラグナに残ったうちの工作員からの映像だ。ボルドールの時と同様、市民に危害は加えられていない。
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. They only care about the humans.
リンゴと水ってバールにして操る気満々じゃねえか。すまねえ。本当に何もできねえのかよ。
今の俺たちには弾薬も燃料も満足にない。それを手に入れる資金もな。
I have to think that when I rewatch this, I'll have a different point of view, but right now I feel flippant about it.
球場聖団連合から防衛の依頼を受けていたのでは。
その連合が壊滅状態だ。
Yeah, I mean, that happens when you mind control all the leaders of the coalition.
Yeah.
We mind controlled them all, and then they all voted for us to leave. It's weird, I don't know what to do. Okay, Alto.
夢に見たあの空は。
全部隊撤退完了いたしました。ウィンダミアの歌声が聖団に響くようになったそうだが。
Okay.
すべての遺跡が起動し、地生態の意識に作用する特殊なフォール
Well, what's the point of this?
球場聖団全体が包み込まれています。これにより。They
did say the VAR syndrome was across the entire galaxy. It could be that they are in control of the nuns.
歌声の威力は予測データほど大きくはありません。あちらも遺跡の能力を完全に解明したわけではないと。フォールドジャミングの方は
No, the nuns are manipulating the
に
Windemarians.
対しての運用は初めてですので、効果のほどは定かではありません。7年前、計画が成功していればこんなことには。
Did they really bomb the Windemarians and it's a back and forth?
Yeah, I told you.
No, I'm saying the Windemarians are saying that they did it. So the nuns saying no, we did it. Did they both bomb each other?
ウィンダミアに戻り、早々に。ですがその前に戴冠式を行います。ハインツ様が我らの王となるのです。
Did we recover Keith or no? Sort of is the answer. Well, I said I was going to be angry about it. I'm angry about it. Hayate had no business defeating the White Knight. Oh. I'm assuming Mirage and Hayate are together.
Yeah.
Oh no, we just all came together right now.
ラグナ脱出の際に受けたダメージもまだ修復できていませんし、この先何が起こるか。
ジャックさんは
さあな、一人になりたいんだろう。
そっか、心配やね。
一つもらうぜ。
Well, I guess the good news is that his sister probably became a jellyfish. The bad news is that Messer Jellyfish just got nuked.
海リンゴの缶詰もうあんまり。あ、忘れるとこやった。ミラージュさん、この間は助けてくれてありがとうございました。ちゃんとお礼言えとらんかったから。
あ、いえ、ワルキューレを守ることが任務ですから。
Thank God I was there, since there's only 4 of us to defend 5 of you now.
あいつら海がなくても平気なんか。
早くラグナに戻れるといいですね。
うん、絶対帰りたい。みんなに出会えて夢を叶えられた大切な場所だかんね。もちろんフィンダミアも好きなんだけど、今は同じくらいラグナも好き。
ふるさとか。ああ、うちは死んだ親父が軍人で、お袋も軍医だったから。
Oh, the old man is dead.
Doesn't mean anything. It's been a long time since the last time Isamu was on screen. 10 years? Something like that?
I don't think it's Isamu. I think he said that his wife, his daughter, mom was a medic.
Yeah, Isamu was a wanderer. Who the fuck knows who he married?
I mean, he was in the service.
Yeah, could have been a medic in the service. I don't think indicating that his wife was a medic dissuades it from being Isamu. Isamu, the reckless guy, probably got injured at some point. Met a nurse. Got married.
I
mean, it better not be Alto. That would be fucking even stupider. Also, Alto was a mercenary. He wasn't a soldier.
Yeah. でも何やってもしっくりこなくてさ。ラグナに来て VF31 に乗って風が
VF31.
Yep, 9 below what you thought.
そんな気がしてた。
私もラグナに来て少しは変われたように思います。
Ah, it's the reflection episode.
Yeah, after the defeat. Or... No, after the battle.
The Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah, Pyrrhic, yeah.
I don't care how you pronounce it. I've been saying it for like 25 years now that way. Even if I'm wrong, this is the way I'm gonna keep saying it. It wouldn't be as creepy if not for the sound effect.
The thing is that now we seem to have transitioned into Macross 7 Frontier style, you know.
Well, it's more of a 7 thing. Remember, City 7 is missing. Is a plot line for a while. What if we power it up by flying into a sun?
準備運動もせずに飛び立っちゃったからね。17ブロックでエネルギーの過剰供給。嫌な予感。
Hey, Han.
大丈夫かね。
フレイヤさんは地上に出ていてください。私たちは奥のブロックの調査に。
了解。
風？え？わ！
Well, I thought there was going to be a hole. No, there was a hole. That's not gravity. That's hole.
Sabotage?
Well, it doesn't seem that way. Also, I'd like to think that there was sabotage. We would have been introduced to the person who would have been on ship at some point for us to be able to guess at what's going on. Also, I caught the 2 catfish at the same time.
You know, the problem with doing that is if the gravity comes back again.
Oh, it's a car-sized cable, so
Yeah.
I doubt Freya's doing that by hand.
I like how she repeats the name. Her nicknames are just repeating the same words. Oh, she found gravity. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, Ragnar was an entire fucking planet. And as we already covered, the citizens are basically being ignored.
Of course, they're gonna do a concert. Yeah.
Well, you know, calm people down.
Yeah.
Or use up more air, whatever you want to look at this as. Well, they never tell Freya what they're up to.
I like this song.
I don't know. I could go for a little bit more Fire Bomber. Can't wait for the ultimate insult to be that he's Basara's kid. Mylene grew up to be a medic.
You know, you could get electrocuted by that. Oh.
Yeah, you don't actually have to take it off your jacket. Just because he did. He didn't do it for any reason.
I think he's using it to push himself forward. That's what he's doing.
No, I don't think he took off his pants to get forward momentum, because obviously the act of taking your pants off to begin with would also propel you. Also, there's oxygen here. You could have just whipped it around like a sail of some sort. And I don't know if this is something I need to bring up. Hayate and Mirage are not particularly attractive people.
I don't know.
Do you not? If you don't know, then they're not particularly attractive. You either know that they are or they're not.
I have to disagree.
I disagree with what? Which part? You said you didn't know. Like, neither of these people look like the Amazons that you're used to, or have to express your preference for.
Yeah, I like the character. It doesn't mean I don't like other people that are attractive.
I like the characters. That has nothing to do with attractiveness. Ugly people are also good people, right? Or most, but I would say some of the time. Of course, not all ugly people are also good people. There are bad ugly people too. I'm just saying that attractiveness has nothing to do most of the time with personality.
Oh, okay.
This place sucks. We really should have stayed on Ragna. Expressly only human desires, though. She said human desires are limitless. These are Ragnans. Stop singing your human fan fiction at me.
Oh.
Well, now Pillow Talk comes after.
Yeah. That was a bit funny.
It's not necessary for me.
What?
I just don't find either of them attractive. So the fan service bits, you know, oh, look at Mirage, ass up into the air on all fours.
It doesn't work for you.
No.
I don't think we are the specific target for that.
Well, apparently you're good. You're the target, apparently, according to your thing. Like, I'm not offended by it, by, like, the high school girls that we saw in G-Quooks. Like, that's offensively so. But these are just, like, meh, appearance-wise. But I feel uncomfortable saying that because they're not real people. I'm not labeling real people with real emotions on this kind of shit. And yes, commenter who's typing away, I know I'm no looker. But I'm also a real person. Take that into your sentiment before you start insulting me.
I thought that's not how that ship connected, but okay.
I think it's just an emergency thing that they're doing. We've penetrated the ship, sir. And that's how the holes got plugged.
I mean, we've seen self-sealing systems in these ships before.
Yeah, so 20% of power wasn't enough to... Look, I'll say, even though I'm not, like, into it, at least this is, like, the most forward beyond, I guess, Cheryl and Alto that two Macross characters have been. Well, except for maybe, Colette and Basara. Well, I guess technically Civil and Basara. In Colette's body. Well, remember, Colette was trying to strip in front of him and get him like that when he was in Colette's body. What? Literally used to live on a beach planet.
Yeah, but...
I doubt a bathing suit is just as covering as your bikini.
Oh, this is a new outro, too?
Yeah, but I'm not seeing anything new yet. Or, you know, information-wise, anything new. Restart? Oh, cool.
It's
just
like a virtual...
the Madoka
ending. A virtual attacker, yeah.
But yeah, nothing. I feel nothing for this episode. This was just like the Macross 7 episode where they got locked into the ice area of the luxury thing, combined with the Starfall episode.
Ice Plant, I think, was a good episode. The Sun one was kind of dumb.
I want you to go back to rewatch your reaction to that episode, where I assure you did not say that was a good episode. I believe you called it filler and pointless.
I mean, it was.
Oh, so it was a good episode and filler and pointless at the same time.
But this one actually was. This one actually shows the aftermath of what happens, right? It wasn't going to be so easy to get away from them.
Well, no, correct. At least we previously discussed, it was incredibly easy to get away from them. So easy, in fact, that we killed their king on the way out. This, in fact, just made difficulty in our journey away from Ragnar. Cool. Whatever we did here, we did here.
Yeah.
お父様は命と引き換えに我らの空を取り戻してくださった。私はその志を受け継ぎ、救助聖団を立派に導いてみせる。
本当に
The far right direction.
覚悟が終わりですか？
どういう意味だ？
ご遺言をお預かりしております。
Okay. Like I said, Royd's takeover, I guess.
Yeah, he's a coup d'etat.
Yeah, maybe. Or he means literal will, in which he's going to claim that he's getting command instead of. Well, he is lying. We already know he's lying by what he said the king's last words were. Like I said, they just created an artificially bad situation. Like, they didn't set up that the city ship was falling apart ahead of time, despite it being in the background of every goddamn shot. Like, this was not an established thing. And I need these things to be pre-established, or at least hinted at. Like, the fact that they're, like, how many times have those engineer guys shown up on the Elysium? One of them could have just been walking in the background of a shot, looking at his, like, workload, said, "Oh, God, we still gotta get to the city ship." Just, like, a passing thing, and would perfectly fine. You know, oh, yeah, that's right. I remember they mentioned that at least once. Without setup, it feels random.
I feel that if this thing had been abandoned for, 20 years, they said? It wasn't had a lot of... It
wasn't abandoned, though. It should have been occupied. We saw the power go out of it when they did their, not the ceremony where Messer died, but the ceremony where you remember when they brought up eat our food and die, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
During that ceremony where they shut the power off to everything, the power in the city ship was on, implying that, they're powering this thing that no one's using? No, I have to believe people are living on it. So, it just, they didn't...
like anybody was there.
Well, it's just, the indication was that they didn't, put it through its paces before they launched it up. But still, people should have been on there. The thing should have been being used. Otherwise, why are you powering it? The thing I bring up in Apocalypse Hotel reactions all the time, where they're still making food every day. The hotel hasn't had, meat food. Food and meat in it. And the hotel hasn't had a guest in 100 years. So you're just making food every day? How good are your freezers? Or are the robots hunting the animals around the hotel, killing them, making them into food that no one's eating, and then throwing it away? There's implications from the scenes that we're seeing. The lights were on in the city ship, implying that they're powering it every day. I'm just going to assume they're not powering nothing. So people must be living there. So this idea that the place is falling apart from disuse just doesn't stand for me. Maybe the propulsion system's not being used because it's been sitting underwater for a long time. That I could deal with. But this is the engines aren't working, or the generators aren't working. It's isn't it powering everything? Isn't it the power source that's powering the city and everything around it? So that's why this feels random to me, not set up. Also remember that the Elysium took the shot that would have hit it, so it didn't even get damaged.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so this feels like a filler episode to me. And, the fan service shit doesn't help.
This is supposed to be when things are supposed to be getting good, I guess.
Well, technically, episode 13 was supposed to be. If we're counting it from literal halfway point, since 26 episodes, 13. But I'm hoping we're not going. look, I really enjoyed Macross 7. I have not like tossed terms with that one. The music was great. You take out whatever filler was there, and it's an amazing show. To the point that I said FB7 is like the best of it, because it's like literally cut down Macross 7, and you get the Frontier characters. So, my favorite music, sung by a different group. Not the best thing, but technically it's still getting what I want. This feels like maybe the second arc is gonna be Macross 7. That we're gonna be on a city ship, flying out to nowhere. And then this time it's not gonna be the Proto-Devlin that we're fighting, it's gonna be the Windermerians.
Or the nuns. Or whoever.
Or both, technically, since the nuns seem to be shadow handing the... Maybe that's what Royd's thing is. Or the corporation. Maybe the corporation is the nuns' shadow hand in this.
Yeah.
That or they're controlling Royd. But I don't think that makes sense, because Royd seems to be king of the proto culture. His goal.
I mean, they could if they're the ones promising him that they can do this for him, that they can. They're the people who with the information, right?
Well, it seems like the nuns are playing the shadow hand, though, so it doesn't feel like they're doing the Royd thing. Like, it doesn't feel like their involvement is that. Their involvement is, we know what the Windermerians are up to, so if we make these things happen, they'll follow the breadcrumbs and do it themselves.
Yeah.
That really feels like the only element of this that doesn't feel like filler. Like, everything that our main characters are doing, bleh, don't care, get rid of it. The nun scene with Valen and I guess whatever admirals. Let's say admirals. I'm gonna take Star Trek rules here. They're evil admirals. That feels like the important thing.
Yeah.
Also, all humans, by the way.
I did well, I mean, leadership from Earth, probably.
Yeah, but, the Zentradi merge. There's a whole Zentradi fleets out there, and not the rogue fleets that the nuns say destroy on sight. But, I mean, like, we have city ship fleets. That implies that there's battleships. Or... Was that what they're called?
Battleships?
Battle 7 was a battleship, technically.
Yeah.
It's weird calling it a battleship because I invokes battleship instead of battleship. Anyway, if there's an entire fleet only Zentradi, that implies that there is a battleship that is, I guess, that was Macross 11? Whatever, one of them. That implies there's one that's completely staffed by Zentradi officers of the nuns, implying that there are high-ranking Zentradi officers. So,
I mean, this could be a conspiracy within the nuns, not necessarily all of the nuns.
Well, no, my point being is that all of those were human. The Windermerians have the anti-human stance. All of the ones that we saw were human. And this is the show where we are expressing the wideness of how many alien species are out there. And 100% humans in the conspiracy.
That could be. They could be human supremacists, I suppose.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that goes to validate the Windermerian concerns. That there is literally a human conspiracy against us. And it's real.
Yeah. But it could also be a situation, okay, that conspiracy might be real, but what you're doing about it is still wrong.
Literally, the human conspiracy against us is nuking our planets. And it turned out that the Dimension Bomb was literally them. Even though we've taken credit for it in a lie, it's very hard to figure this out. They are blaming the humans for it. The humans seem to indicate that they did it, but behind closed doors, the Windermerians are saying, no, actually, we did it. And it's like, it's like when a terrorist attack happens, and then multiple terrorist groups
the humans
take
are blaming the Windermerians.
No, I believe in the internal. Well, this might come down to our notes when we rewatch it. I took it, and people are going to say, oh, you just fucking talked over it. No way you heard this. Then my interpretation was that they were taking credit for having done it. In that meeting scene that we see with Valen and them, And I thought I heard, like, I don't
Yeah, I
remember
know,
the
but
line.
that's not the public stance. The public stance is that the Windermerians did it. The private stance of these guys is that they did it.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's when I was talking about before the multiple board things I have with Apothecary Diaries, what's publicly known, what people think versus what is actually happening. That again, if you took the Windermerian side, the Windermerians blame the humans, but the Windermerians behind closed doors say that we did it to ourselves to invoke this war. The human side is they're saying that they did it. But there's no behind the scenes about what they're saying. They're saying that they did it to themselves.
No.
Wait. When I say they did it to themselves, I'm saying that they did it, and they're saying to themselves that they did it. So publicly, Windermerians are saying the humans did this. Behind closed doors, the Windermerians are saying we did it. The humans are saying to themselves, we did it. So either the Windermerian lie is true and the humans did it, or the Windermerian behind closed doors, we did it to ourselves, is true, and the humans are just claiming victory for having done it on their own, based on nothing, which is what I was saying when a terrorist attack happens, and terrorist groups around the world claim that they did it when they didn't do it, is what feels like is happening here. That or two bombs went off at the same time, and both sides think that they did it.
But you forgot the fact that the humans publicly blamed the Windermerians for
that. Doesn't matter, though. Again, the Windermerians blaming the humans and the humans publicly blaming the Windermerians is the same thing, essentially. That's why I'm saying it's very confusing, because there's no indication of which one is true. The fact that Windermerians behind closed doors say that they did it to themselves, and the humans behind closed doors say that they did it to the Windermerians, is essentially nullifying both things. Why would the Windermerians lie to themselves about having done it to themselves? And why would the humans, who blame the Windermerians for doing it, behind closed doors say that we did it, when the Windermerians behind closed doors are saying they didn't do it, we did it? It just nullifies everything. There's no what's true.
Maybe finding out who really did it is part of the mystery of the show.
I gotta believe that this is just something that we're bringing up a lot that isn't going to come to pass. Like, I legit have no idea what the fuck is going to happen. Because that's background motivation. You remember when we were talking about why is Durandal firing the super weapon?
Yeah.
It's pointless now to wonder who did the something Earth incident. I can't remember what it's called. Drop the Earth?
They break the Earth.
Break the Earth. It's
break the wall incident.
Yeah. At this point, when he's firing the super weapon, it is pointless to try and figure out if he did break the world. Yeah. Now that we're here, we're attacking the planets, we're sitting on proto-culture devices, and God knows activating what. It's pointless to try and figure out who did the motivating factor, because we're past motivation.
I mean,
to understand why anyone's doing anything no longer matters when we've accomplished what it feels like the motivation was. If I'm motivated to kill a guy, and then I killed the guy, and the story's now about what I do after I killed the guy, the motivating factor of why I killed the guy is no longer anything anymore.
Unless you feel that you were justified to killing the guy, then you realize that you were manipulated, and you want to go after the guy who manipulated you into killing that guy.
Okay, Shawshank is the example here. The fact of, did Andy Dufresne actually kill his wife? No longer really matters about halfway past the movie when that guy shows up and he's like, oh yeah, actually I talked to this other guy, but that guy gets killed. And then Andy Dufresne is all about the warden thing, right? Yeah. Did Andy Dufresne kill his wife or not? No longer matters. We're at that point. I don't think it matters
what
anymore. What
was important about that was that he was actually, there was a way to prove that he was innocent. It wasn't simply Andy Dufresne saying that he was innocent. We believe him because we sympathize with the character. But here's evidence.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. You only care about that up until that point. Well, actually, you don't even care about that at the point because Andy Dufresne keeps saying he's innocent. And then it's not a matter of the movie anymore. It's Andy learning jail life and talking to Red and whatnot. And then that guy gets introduced, and he introduces this new thing. Oh, you actually are innocent. I talked to this guy. We can do this. And then for that small segment of the overall movie, it's important again, and then it's not. And that's what I'm saying. We're past that. We were in a small segment at the beginning where it's like, who actually did this? And then we get that back and forth, and it's like, okay, maybe that's the thing. And then their motivating thing goes on, and they go attacking the planets, and it's like, okay, we're doing the voice, we're doing the attack, we're doing the protocultural ruins at the spaceship. And now we've gotten the thing where the humans are like, woo, we actually did it. And that's the guy being introduced to the prison. But I don't feel like it matters, because the motivation thing has already happened. Like, the king got out of bed, we flew the spaceship to a planet, we settled into a thing, we attacked them with actual weapons.
It depends how it is written. If it could be something that could be moved on from it, or it could come back again. I think they put so much emphasis early on, especially with the visions of the shared vision between Hines and Valcour, that I think it's still something that
I'm saying it doesn't, only because we've pulled that trigger. Okay, say next episode we find out who actually did it. Does it change anything?
It might, depending on who gets the knowledge and what they do with it.
No, I'm saying Royd is doing his thing to whatever with Hines, right? The element is the ship is already in space, it's attacking people, we're taking the planets. The plan is in action. The motivation no longer matters. We're in the plan now. Discovering that the humans did it, we're already attacking to eliminate the humans, no longer matters. Discovering that the Windemarians did it, the Windemarians are already lying to everybody and claim to themselves that they did it. That doesn't change anything either. Finding out who did it no longer changes anything.
Again, see, the problem I have with that is that it might, depending on how they use it. If they don't use it, and they move on with it, it's fine. It doesn't matter anymore. But you have a lot of characters who believe that they're doing this thing because...
Yeah, I'm saying there's only one specific way that they could use it, which is to say, make it public that to the Windemarians that the Windemarians did it. But, again, that's not what's happening, because our conflicting information is that humans claim that they did it behind closed doors, which already is what is setting off the Windemarians on their crusade. So that doesn't change anything. The only thing that could change anything is if a Windemarian who knows lets other Windemarians know we did it to ourselves. And that seems incredibly unlikely, because the Windemarians that know that they did it are the ones vying for control. So they're not going to self-sabotage themselves for no reason, and nothing has been set up to indicate that, oh, if I'm not going to be in control, no one's going to be in control. No one's gone crazy to that extent. Especially only the people we've been indicated know the truth, which is what? Royd, Keith.
The truth could be, that there might be a third party involved.
The third party has nothing to do with the bombing, though. Unless the third party, like the corporation, shows up. Actually, we're the one that supplied the dimension bomb, and we bombed everything. And that's why the humans are like, oh, we actually did it, because the corporation's human corporation. And the Windemarians are like, actually, we hired the corporation, which is why it's all fucking nonsense at that point. Like I said, there's only one way to play that to make it matter again. And it's like one way in, like, imagine the branching roots of the ruins going to the core. That one route that reached the core and the rest that branched off to nothing. Yeah. You're playing Plinko with this plot line, and I'm saying that the one thin green row of victory is filled with a dozen other red rows on each side, where this is pointless. The reveal doesn't mean anything anymore. Just like the Break the World incident with Macross, with the
but the reason why
Destiny.
The thing with the Break the World incident was that they didn't use it effectively, and they never cleared that. So it was like 4 episodes before the end, so it was not going to matter anyway.
Well, they didn't. They didn't uncover anything. Literally, what's his name?
Actually, he should have been able to marry. It could have mattered if they could rally, say, SAF forces against Durandal, right?
Wouldn't have mattered. Because apparently, even though they had one country, two Earth countries, they equaled the force of the most powerful superpower. That was one of my big arguments there. I'm just saying, I feel like we're on the same path. where a previous motivation didn't really get explained, and now it no longer matters. It'd be like if we never discover who his dad is, right? The fact that it's brought up as like an interesting character point, but ultimately we don't do anything with it. That would be the sin of the narrative, which is to say, introduce something interesting, don't do anything with it.
I think the problem there is I think you're making more of it than it is.
No, Lessons. Let go the fact that you don't care who the dad is, or that you want the dad to be nobody, and let go of the fact that I care that the dad might be somebody. Just let go of those as your end point on the discussion. No, I mean for now, for the purpose of this discussion, and just say that they've introduced the concept. Who is his dad? They brought it. They brought it up. No, they brought it up twice now.
He had a dad.
No, they've brought it up twice now. My dad is this. My dad is that. My dad did this. My dad did that. They're introducing these things so that you wonder who his dad is. Like, is he going to show up later? No, Lessons, stop. You're still approaching this from an argumentative standpoint that I believe is thing, and that you just believe the thing that I believe. I'm not even countering from that point. If we were watching, I don't know, any other show that you enjoy, and the main character started talking about their father, like a high school romance that you enjoy, and the character starts talking about their father, a person we've never seen on the show, hasn't seemed to have any influence to the character, and they're like, oh yeah, no, my dad gave me this before they left or something, or they got sent off, and I'd never really seen them again. And then a couple episodes later, they start talking about their dad again. You'd be interested, because it's an aspect of the character you've never been introduced before, and it's filling out the information that you have about them. The fact that they kept bringing it up. Yeah, the fact that they kept bringing it up.
The identity of the dad itself is immaterial. It's a reflection
it's not immaterial.
Of the
They're introducing it to make you interested in it. So it'd be like
the character.
It'd be like the fact that Alto was interested in flying, and you're like, it's immaterial. He's interested in flying, so what? No, it's his character. He's bringing it up so that you're interested in it. The character is bringing up the dad. The fact that Alto has this whole family issue with their acting and whatnot, and then the adopted brother guy keeps coming in to try and bring Alto back into the family. That's something that gets introduced and that they want you to be interested in. Granted, I wasn't interested in that at all, but they want you to be interested in it. So when Hayate starts talking about his family, they want you to be interested in it and wonder. The same way that you wonder about any other goddamn thing in the show that they talk about. It's just another thing that they want you to be interested in.
Yeah, but I think here it's just a limited use. Here it's just as a reflection of that character. Oh, this is why Hayate is and where he comes from. Introducing the dad shows up, or they tell me who the dad was, like, doesn't add anything by itself. Also, there was a dad. Okay, fine. What's interesting is Hayate's...
They don't say that there was a dad. They tell you facts about him. They keep adding more to who the dad is. He married a medic. He gave me this thing. He was a soldier. He's dead now. Like, they keep adding more to him because they want you to keep knowing more about the dad. I only believe that you feel this way because of the previous arguments we had, because this feels like such a disingenuous argument. Sorry, Lessons, I do feel like you're a bad faith actor in this argument.
I bet you that this is actually going to end up in nothing. It's like,
no, I agree. I agree with that aspect. That's my disappointment in that.
And that doesn't disappoint me at all.
That's why I likened it to the discussion that we were having about who did the bomb, is I believe it goes nowhere. That's what I'm saying about this. That I'm not bringing up my disappointment, and I feel like he should be somebody from a previous show or related to a previous story.
Or anybody for that matter.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not falling into the previous argument that we've had about that. That's why I'm saying I feel like you're entering this argument into bad faith because you're entering it into our previous argument about that, which I'm not bringing up here. I'm bringing up here the goes nowhere element of the storyline that I believe is in play, which is to say it's the same thing as the bomb back on Windermere. It's going to go nowhere. But again, my element discussing the father thing is if I'm reading a novel and the characters goes on and on about their dad, I'm going to expect payoff about the dad at some point, even if it's a new character or whatever. I'm expecting.
I think the difference here is that the bomb affects far more people and far more groups. So, and then it gets repeated by a new group that gets interested, like, oh, the nuns are involved in this, and they talk about what happened 7 years ago. So about how they didn't finish the job then. I'm like, okay, so clearly that's a new storyline that they're bringing, right? That the nuns are involved. They have a plan with these. They have their own plans and own research has to do with the ruins, right? And they were planning to do something similar 7 years ago, but for some reason it didn't work out.
The nuns being involved is the interesting aspect. I don't believe the bomb aspect has anything to do. The bomb aspect you're saying influenced a lot of people. Sure, not going to disagree with that. It's the political motivation that gets the whole Windermerian campaign going. But it is still just a background element that doesn't really affect anything now. The same way that we can talk about Hayate's dad. He was alive at one point, he's dead now. He gave me a necklace. Necklace doesn't seem to do anything other than glow sometimes. Maybe it's the connecting factor between me and Freya. But the fact my dad gave it to me is a thing. It's a fact among other facts. The same way the bomb going off is a fact among other facts. It's a motivating factor that at the end of the day isn't going to pay off if they don't do anything with it. The same way his dad isn't going to pay off.
With the, I would be disappointed if they don't do more with the bomb, but I think it would be disappointed. I wouldn't be disappointed with they didn't do anything with the dad anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I'm expressing my disappointment because I see both things going in the same direction. It seems unlikely that they're going to say who his dad is. I think that's a fan read-in that people who have watched the entire thing, like you and me, are going to be like, who fits that description? Except for right now, where you're indicating that you don't care. You're a fan of the Force Awakens. She was a child of nobody, which I find to be less interesting than being a child of somebody. But again, I can only amount that up to personal taste. I don't want to get into a big old discussion. We already did that 3 times. So I'm just going to say it's a matter of personal taste. The same discussion we had with the music, right? That I prefer connective stories. You prefer new stories. We can leave it at that. I feel like that's not harmful to either of our opinions. Can you agree to that much?
I can agree. Yes.
I mean, that was your point. You like new stories, new characters, new stuff, and that's fine. I don't find that to be a disagreeable opinion. I like connective tissue because I like greater connective stories. You know, I don't think I have to make examples. We all understand what a greater connective story is. And those are just 2 different story types. I mean, they don't have to be. They can both exist in the same universe, but not for us this time. And I feel like we can agree with that. That's fine. But you know me, I like looking into the.
Sorry,
I didn't even hear it. I like looking into the greater.
I didn't sneeze. That's the problem.
Oh,
I was going to sneeze. I was like,
yeah. I just like looking into the same way that we like look into our notes and see what's happening. I like to do that across shows. The same way we had the argument about, is that one actress from SDF Macross related to the actress in Macross Frontier? And you were like, the names are spelled a little bit differently. I don't think so. But then again, the Macross Zero guy, his name is spelled differently from his sister in SDF Macross. So I find that to be a good argument. Not a good argument. In fact, I don't want to have that argument. I find that to be a good basis of comparison, I should say.
Well, I think that's closes the door on this episode.
Yeah. Slightly disappointed. But then again, I think I told you I entered this flippantly, not on purpose. It's just that idea that things are going to get a lot better. And it's like, I don't know. Things got pretty good close to the end of the middle. And then these felt like bad Macross 7 episodes. I'll say
I think they may not. The transition is bumpy, to say the least.
Well, yeah,
you don't know what we're going to see on the other side.
The fight in 13 was pretty good, but then we started kicking too much ass. Like, if the idea is that we're on the back foot and we have to retreat, we shouldn't win that hard. Like, I don't remember what it was back when I was a kid. It was a guy I hung out with once who had a Sega game about conquering conquering Europe as armies, like Rome was in there and everything. And I got into a fight with him for the controller because I had my guy target Caesar on his horse. And he's like, no, you can't fucking win this. And then my guys rushed up and fucking killed Caesar, and the Roman army routed. And it's like, I fucking won. While me and him were just like arguing and fighting to get this controller, because he didn't think they would have any chance of victory. So it's the idea that no matter how bad the situation is, you can always win out of nowhere. And just to see that, it feels like it's bad for the buildup of the Windermerian threat to suddenly just kick their ass out of nowhere.
Yeah. So there you have it.
All right. Well, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stone-Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?